We begin with some breaking news at this hour. Late this afternoon, Gonzaga star Timme announced on Twitter that he is putting his name into the NBA draft. I am told that we'll have much more on this decision just coming up in a few minutes from sports director Brenna Green. But this is the statement that he put out. It reads in part, "The dream has always been to play professionally. After lots of thought and discussion, I will be putting my name in the NBA draft." So we will have more on that coming up in just a few minutes, again, from our sports director, Brenna Green. In the meantime, let's move on to some other breaking news this afternoon. A building fire near downtown today sent several people to the hospital. Our Kyle Simchuk is live near the convention center where that fire broke out. And Kyle, what can you tell us?
Well, yeah, Mark, one person received significant injuries. We don't know the extent of those injuries. Two other people had minor injuries as well and were taken to the hospital. This fire broke out around 1 this afternoon at the Park Tower Apartments, a high-rise 20-story building with 185 residents. The majority of them are elderly and disabled. About 75 firefighters responded and fed a fire hose up 9 flights of stairs. The man who was seriously injured had to be rescued by one of the tower trucks, which extended a ladder up to the 9th floor.
Very hot environment for a human being to survive, but the patient that was transported was awake. He was ambulatory, but he was severely injured. And just what that level of severity is being determined right now at the hospital.
And again, that fire broke out on the 9th floor. You can actually still see some of the damage there. Tenants have returned to the building. Fire Chief Brian Schaefer says this is an older building with no sprinkler system. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Reporting live in downtown Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Thank you very much, Kyle. Turns out there was another fire earlier today in downtown Spokane as well. Before that apartment fire on Spokane Falls Boulevard, a 3-alarm fire in a different downtown building kept fire crews busy for hours. And some businesses say they are still feeling the impacts of those flames. KREM 2's Janelle Finch is live at the scene tonight to break down what happened and what nearby businesses are saying. Janelle?
Mark, one of those crews is actually still here. Residents told me that around 4:30 this morning, they walked out of their apartments to see the sky covered in flames and smoke. A fire started in this building right behind me. No one was hurt, but employees at nearby businesses told me they're thankful the fire didn't spread. Monroe Street was closed this morning as firefighters doused the flames. The street closure affected some morning commuters. A nearby gas station manager says customers couldn't get gas at his store for 3 hours. At 11 a.m., flames were no longer visible, but smoke was still in the air. On the other side of I-90, Spokane residents documented the height of the smoke. An employee at a nearby business says when she saw the smoke from Brown's Addition, she began to worry about getting to work.
Driving to work, it was a little scary because it was so close, right across the street from where I work. You know, I spend most of my time here. So it was definitely a little scary, thinking, you know, it could spread or, you know, to my livelihood.
Overhauser's outlet shared on Facebook they closed while firefighters were still on scene. As of 2 p.m., they say they haven't been allowed back in the building. The Spokane Fire Department says they have not determined the cause of the fire. Our Morning 2 KREM 2 team saw that there were at least over a dozen fire trucks here early this morning, 75 firefighters on scene as well. I spoke with some nearby business owners who told me that this building is typically used for storage and that no residents or businesses stay in this area. Monroe currently still has 1 lane partially closed. Live in Spokane, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
All right, Janelle, thank you very much. Let's transition to talk weather now. It was a beautiful day across the inland Northwest, but get ready for a bit of wind again tomorrow. Let's get straight outside to meteorologist Jeremy LaGoo. And Jeremy, first off, my goodness, today, tough to beat, right?
Yeah, Mark, I've now moved my office to outside, so I will now be out here if anyone needs me.
Look at this guy just sitting down out there.
Yeah, it's that kind of beautiful. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm just going to not enjoy. Hey, I came outside, got a seat, and just soaked it in because right now we are in the mid-60s here in Spokane. Likely the warmest we will be in at least the next 7 to 10 days. It just hurts to say that out loud, but that is the truth. Right now we sit in the mid-60s in Coeur d'Alene, 59 in Sandpoint, and mid-60s out in central Washington. Tons of sunshine depending on where you are. Here, kind of filtered by some of those high atmospheric clouds we talked about. But as we move through the next day or so, watch what happens. Here comes tomorrow's front, and as this moves through, we are expecting some breezy wind. Notice I'm not saying full-on windy conditions, more like Tuesday than what we saw on Monday. So yes, it is going to be breezy. Yes, at times you're going to go, oh, wow, that's a gust, but not near the magnitude of what we saw on Monday. That's the good news. The other thing, well, the moisture. Most of that stays in North Idaho. We might squeeze out a little here in eastern Washington, but for the most part, that's going to kind of stay in the higher elevations. We're going to do our best. Next 12 hours, we'll see a little more cloud cover build in by tomorrow morning. Temperatures fall into the 40s, and tomorrow's a bit of a struggle, but we do get there upper 50s in the forecast for much of the region.
All right, Jeremy, thanks so much. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Newly filed court documents reveal what led up to the shooting at the Red Top Motel last week. Spokane County Sheriff's Office, they arrested the man they believe is responsible for that shooting yesterday, and he made his first court appearance this afternoon. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley joins us live from the Spokane County Courthouse tonight. And Amanda, can you tell us how the suspect knows the shooting victims?
Yeah, Mark, Spokane County court records indicate the suspect, Joshua Seth, owed a few $100s to one of the victims who was staying at the Red Top Motel. Now, the exact motive for that shooting is still unclear. Investigators say the victim was staying at the Red Top Motel with his wife. He told detectives he met with Seth at a nearby Safeway and collected the debt, then returned to the motel. 45 minutes later, he heard several gunshots from outside their motel room. He soon realized his wife had been shot in the head. At last check, the woman is in serious but stable condition. Now, investigators also interviewed the suspect's father. He said the day after the shooting, Seth came to his house and said, "They're coming after me." Then Seth hid his car in the garage and placed a gun in a workbench drawer. Investigators found this gun but have not identified it as the weapon used in the shooting. Now, court documents also say investigators searched the victim's car and found numerous checks. They say several of those checks were forged and made out to Joshua Seth. Now, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office arrested Seth yesterday morning at a hotel near the Spokane International Airport. Now, this afternoon, a judge kept Seth's bond at $1 million for the attempted murder charges. Reporting from the Spokane County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. Still ahead tonight, a new law was signed in Washington today that could help you with your job search. What will now be on full display while you're job hunting? More of today's top regional stories as well, coming up next.